Healthy eating can be very hard, and it can be even harder when it comes to your kids. You may feel like you know the basics of creating healthy and balanced meals, but then you have a child who is super picky. Or you may have a child who just mindlessly eats whatever you put in front of them, but you want them to actually get some better food education. Or maybe you're just looking to build healthier food habits for your entire family. Whatever the case may be, I am here to help. Before I get into the tips, I really want to point out that I am not specialized in child nutrition. So if you're really struggling with that, then please see a professional who is really specialized in that field. My goal here is just to give some basic nutrition tips for kids and for families. And I'd also like to mention that I am not a parent myself, so this is just theory, and I can totally understand that when it comes down to real life, some of these things may not work. So please make sure to let me know in the comments what you do with your kids and what works for your kids, and maybe you can help out other people. How to eat a healthy and balanced diet, Kid Edition. When it comes to the actual foods to give your kids for a healthy and balanced meal, it's actually pretty similar to what you'd want for yourself. Healthy eating means giving them a wide variety of foods with all the nutrients that they need to thrive. It's about eating healthy and balanced and varied meals that you all enjoy, helping them fuel their bodies the right way, helping them feel energized and happy and healthy, and build a healthy relationship with food. In general, eating mainly whole foods and limiting processed foods is the goal, but it doesn't mean that you can never give your kids junk food, of course, just that it should be kind of an exception rather than the norm. It's really important not to classify foods as bad foods that you should never have or good foods that you should always have. There's room for any kinds of foods in your child's diet, and it's always all about balanced. That being said, there are undeniably foods who are healthier than others, and these mainly include whole, minimally processed foods such as whole grains, fruit and vegetables, nuts and seeds, beans, legumes. Now here are the foods that your kids shouldn't be eating on a regular basis, but that can totally have their spot on their plate once in a while, and mainly they include foods that are highly processed and that are high in calories and low in nutrients. So these foods are refined carbs, so anything like cake or cookies or candy, and like to a lesser extent things made with like refined white flour. Trans fats, artificial trans fats have been banned, but you can still find them in foods like ready to eat meals and like snack foods and things like that. And also processed meats such as ham, bacon, salami, all of these things. It's also really important that your child is getting enough calcium to help with their growing bones. I personally don't think that dairy is the best source of calcium that you can get. However, if that is the only source of calcium that your child likes, or that you can provide for them, then by all means dairy is totally fine. But here are a few other options of foods that are high in calcium. Beans and lentils, cooked leafy greens such as spinach and kale, almonds, seeds such as sesame seeds or chia seeds, calcium fortified foods such as cereal or plant-based milk, edamame, tofu, etc. Also, don't hesitate to check out my video on healthy eating for beginners that has a lot more information on how to start eating healthily. How to give your kids healthy eating habits. Although the food on your kid's plate is very important, healthy eating doesn't stop there. It's also important to give your child good eating habits and eating behaviors as well. The best way to do that is to lead by example. If you eat well, then your kids will follow your lead. The number one thing I would recommend is having family meals with no electronic distractions, where you can have some meaningful conversations as a family. You're in charge of what the meals look like, and you don't have to cater to everyone's specific taste. However, it is a good idea to have at least a few different food items so that each kid can at least have one thing that they like and that that they will eat. This doesn't have to be a full meal, just like a little side dish, or include an ingredient that they like. Start by serving small portions to your kid and let them explore what they have on their plate. Don't try to focus on the food. Instead, ask them about their day or talk about something else while they get comfortable around that food and decide to eat it or not. The less you obsess over the food that they are eating, the more likely they are to actually eat it. I also recommend having a set snack and meal schedule for your child so that they know what to expect. And it's a good idea to provide them with a healthy and balanced meal or snack option every 3 hours or so. Let them know that this is their chance to give their body energy, and they can do that if they want to, but if they don't want to, then they will be able to do that again in 3 hours or however long you want to serve the next meal in. How to make sure your kids have a healthy relationship with food. I don't like talking about calories for kids unless, of course, they are at an unhealthy weight, be it underweight or overweight, and their doctor is telling them that they need to gain weight. Other than that, I think that kids are generally really good and better than us at knowing what they need and what their body needs. And so I think the most important thing you should be doing with your kids in that regard is encouraging them to listen to their hunger and fullness cues. So don't force them to eat if they aren't hungry, and also let them have a second helping if they want it. However, as the parent, you get to decide what food is being served. So if your child is never hungry for the vegetables but always hungry for desserts, or if they always want to eat the cookie at snack time but they never actually want to eat dinner, then you should intervene. For instance, if they tell you that they want a cookie but dinner is only 1 hour away, then you can tell them something like, we're going to be having a very yummy dinner very soon, and if you still want it, then you can have a cookie after that dinner. You could also talk about your own feelings at mealtime. You can say things like, this dinner is very delicious, but I'm just not hungry anymore, so I'm going to be saving this for later. Saying these things really shows your children that it's important to be in tune with their hunger cues, and it helps them to be initiated to mindful and intuitive eating. It's also important not to talk about food, calories, or weight gain in a negative way in front of your child. If you say something like, this cookie is bad, or this food will make you fat, then your child will internalize these thoughts and it may trigger some unhealthy eating behaviors, and it's not the best way to build a healthy relationship with food. I really encourage not putting any type of food on a pedestal, and also not shaming or banning any type of food. If your child says that they want to have candy, then you can serve some candy alongside the brown rice and the veggies and the beans at dinner time. But let them know that when they finish that candy, then there won't be any more. They'll have to eat the other things on their plate. It's important not to draw any particular attention to these foods, just kind of have them alongside the other foods without saying anything special. You should also try not to praise your child for eating or not eating certain foods, because we don't want them thinking that certain foods are inherently good or bad. Also, you shouldn't bribe them with dessert in order for them to finish their vegetables, for instance. And if you're interested, I made a video on how to eat healthy when you hate vegetables. Finally, you really should not discuss weight with a child. If your doctor has said that your child needs to gain weight or to lose weight for health reasons, then I would focus on just that, the health aspect, the health reasons, and make sure that you are providing them with healthy and balanced meal options, mainly from whole foods. You can absolutely let them have junk food or sweets or any of these types of foods once in a while when they ask for them, or when you feel like it's okay, because you really don't want to restrict them and trigger an unhealthy relationship with food. How to educate your kids around food. I really encourage telling your kids about food and their different benefits in an age-appropriate manner if and when the opportunity arises. For example, you can tell a small child that eating carrots will make their eyes super strong, or that eating berries will help their bodies fight off sickness. And you can tell an older child that carrots have vitamin A, which is important for your eyesight, and that berries have antioxidants, which help boost your immune system. It's also important to let them know that food is a fun and delicious way to give their bodies all of the nutrients and fuel that they need to be healthy and happy. You can also say things like, cookies give you energy, and energy is great. We really need energy. But if you eat too many cookies, then you won't have any more room to eat the foods that bring your body other powers, such as healing from cuts or growing strong bones or fighting off sickness. What do you think about that? It's also a great idea to involve your kids in grocery shopping or meal prepping, cooking in an age-appropriate way, and it's a great opportunity to teach them about different foods and, certain facts about certain foods. What if my child is a picky eater? For a very picky child, I would recommend following the above recommendations, so meaning having healthy and balanced meals as a family, serving a variety of different foods, setting a meal and snack schedule that you can stick to, but letting them decide how much they eat within that specific time frame, offering them some food education when it's appropriate. I would also try to serve one of the safe foods that they like with every meal, but in a really small portion. So for instance, if they really like chicken nuggets, you can serve like 1 or 2 chicken nuggets alongside like pasta and vegetables. And if they ask for more chicken nuggets, you can tell them something like, there are no more chicken nuggets right now, maybe you can have some next time. However, you can try the pasta or the broccoli. How would that sound? You really don't want to pressure your children into eating these healthy foods, but you should be offering these foods consistently until they want to try them and until they start to like them and they're not scared of these foods anymore. And you really should try not to draw any particular attention to these foods. And it's also really important that you model good behavior so that you eat these foods in front of your children. In short, healthy eating for kids means providing them with a wide variety of foods that give them all of the nutrients they need to thrive. It also means building healthy food habits by enjoying family meals or including them in the meal preparation process, educating them about nutrition in age-appropriate ways, and making sure that they develop a healthy relationship with food. That's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like it and subscribe, and see you on my next one. Bye!